Hi guys, welcome to X-Plane 10. Going to cover a few different aircraft in a few videos. So today we're going to be flying a British Airways 777 Speedbird. So let's just have a look outside. We'll just spin round and there it is. So that's the 777, Boeing 777 we're going to fly today. Okay, so we'll go back inside. And we're at gate 33 at Gatwick, and we're cold and dark at the moment, so we're going to turn on the seatbelt signs. And no smoking, but all planes are no smoking these days. Then the passengers can get seated and get their seatbelts on while we fire everything up. So we'll start with the batteries, generators, the bus tie, the APU generator, and then fire up the APU. There we go. Okay, turn on the avionics, nav light, beacon, strobe, taxi, land lights, that's all fine. We'll turn the engines to on, or run, but we won't actually start them up as yet. Okay, we'll set our source to GPS ready for our flight plan to be input into the FMS, Flight Management System. Okay, we'll turn the flight director to on so we can program our autopilot. And we'll just turn on the transponder there, ready to set that. So I'm going to program our flight path. So we'll hit the initialization button and we're going to be going to Manchester. So we'll start from Gatwick, head to the Lambourne Vaux, then to the fixer Heidi, then Welin, W-E-L-I-N, then to the fixer Timpo, T-I-M-P-O, then to the Vaux at TNT, the Trent Vaux, and finally to the airport, Echo Golf Charlie Charlie. So that's Manchester. Okay, so that's our flight plan input into there. So that's ready. Okay, what we now need to do is set up our autopilot. So I'm using the Cytec ProFlight yoke, radio panel and multi-panel. So I'll use the multi-panel to set our autopilot up. So I'm just setting the speed initially. Should be able to see that increasing as I turn the dial. And we'll go up to 250 initially. So we're getting there. It's a bit of a grey day over the UK today. Very cloudy, light drizzle. So it's not going to be the ideal day, but there you go. Okay, so now we'll set our heading initially to 080. I think we'll be taking off on runway 8, but we'll see in a while. Okay, let's go to altitude now. And we'll set the altitude to 15,000. It's only a short flight, so I'm not going to go too high, otherwise by the time we get there we'll have to just come straight back down again. So let's go to 15,000, that will do. So it's getting there. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15,000, there we go. Okay, so we'll enable heading vertical speed. I'm going to set initially to 1,000. So 1,000 feet per minute climb up to 15,000, that should be fine. So what I'm now going to do is file our flight plan with ATC. So we are setting off from Gatwick, EGKK, Echo Golf Kilo Kilo. We're going to fly at 15,000. And our destination is Echo Golf Charlie Charlie. And we're going via Lamb, Heidi, Welin, Timpo and TNT. There we go, that's our flight plan in there. So I now need to set our radio frequency. Scroll down, radio stacks down here. And we need 121.95 for Gatwick delivery. So It's going to set that with my radio panel. There we go. And we'll request clearance for our flight plan.
Victor, India, Tango. Cleared IFR to Echo, Golf, Charlie, as filed. Maintain 15,000, squawk 4700.
Okay, that's fine.
Cleared IFR to Echo, Golf, Charlie, as filed. Maintain 15,000, squawk 4700. Victor, India, Tango.
Okay, so our call sign is Victor, India, Tango for this flight. So I'm now going to set our frequency back to 121.8, ready to request taxi. But before we do that, we're going to push back off the stand. So let's just scroll up to around there somewhere. Okay, now I need also to go to the Excitec panels plug-in for the multi-panel and just enable the auto throttle switch. So that's fine. Okay, so now I'll go to ground services and request pushback. We've got plenty of fuel, so we don't need to refuel. So we'll go for pushback, and I'm going to reduce the distance. So on the previous one it was a bit too far, so let's go for 50 meters. And the nose needs to move to the right, and we'll request that. So we'll have a look outside again. And the pushback truck has arrived. There it is.
VIIT pushback ready. Please release park brakes.
Okay, so I've released the park brakes. There's a bus heading off there in front of us. Okay, so that's fine. That should push us back, ready for us then to request taxi instructions and fire up the engines. Nice plane, the 777. It's got Hong Kong livery on it for British Airways. I'm not entirely sure why that is, but it's quite nice, so it will do. This plane is standard in X-plane, but it's not in the main collection of airplanes. It actually is under extra aircraft. So when you do open aircraft, you go to extra aircraft from previous versions, and then you'll see 777 in there. So I was hoping he would be rotating us a bit by now. Seems to be pushing us straight for some reason. We're still going back further than I expected, to be frankly honest, so I'm not quite sure why that is. The rotation is set at 90 degrees, but there's some catering trucks in front of us there. Off they go. Okay, so I'm not quite sure why he's pushing us back this far and not rotating us, to be honest. That's quite strange. Okay, what I'm going to do is cancel that at this point, because that's clearly...
VIIT pushback Advaroute.
Okay, it was written by somebody from Holland, so that's why it said Advaroute instead of aborted, but it'll do. Okay, that's fine, so let's go back inside. There we go. Okay, so what I'm now going to do is start the engines. I don't know why that pushback didn't work according to plan, but... just hold that and we should see the engine fire up. There we go, you can see the green bars increasing on the power meters to show that it started. So that should be fine. Now the other one. Okay, there we go, that's good. Okay, so we're ready to taxi. So I'm going to make sure the brakes are on, apply a little bit of throttle, and then request taxi instructions.
Victor, India, Tango. Hold short of runway 8 right.
Yeah, it is indeed runway 8. So
Hold short of 8 right. Victor, India, India, Tango.
okay, so I think we need to go to the right from here, but we should fairly soon see the yellow line marking our taxi route, hopefully. Just using the brakes to regulate the speed so that we're not taxiing too fast, but at the moment I haven't seen the yellow line as yet. Ah, there it is, look. So we're heading down here, that's fine. So you will notice, I'm going to follow the yellow line all the way, and you will notice that sometimes it goes through objects and things. Apparently the taxiways were all worked out in X-Plane and laid down before the scenery was added, and therefore sometimes it goes through objects, through buildings and Lord knows what else, but we'll follow it so you can see exactly where it does go. There you go, look, it's going to go through some objects now.
Victor, India, India, Tango. Hold short of runway 8 right.
Hold short of 8 right. Victor, India, India, Tango.
You will get ATC repeat the instructions sometimes if you're perhaps taxiing a little too fast, or you're not dead on the yellow line or whatever. As I said, you can see this is going straight through some objects, so that's a bit of a weakness in X-Plane, but a fairly minor thing I think at the end of the day. So we'll turn this way, follow this line, out here. So to our left is runway 8 left. That is not used as a runway at Gatwick, it's actually used as a taxiway. They're used as a single runway operations for most of the time, unless there's any specific reason that they need to use a second runway, but that's generally used for taxiing. So we will be going up to the end, past that runway and across to the other one, which is 8 right, and that's our assigned runway. You can see we're heading straight down here to the far end of the runway. Not an horrendously long taxi at Gatwick. I mean, go to somewhere like Schiphol, it's a great deal farther. Or seems it anyway. So, you know, this one is not too bad, I don't think. So hopefully we'll fairly soon be at the end here. We're fast approaching the runway now. You may see some ground vehicles moving around. I can see 1 or 2 in front of us. Part of the scenery in X-Plane, depending on how you set up the rendering options as to how much ground traffic and so on you want. You will see cars, lorries, trains occasionally when you're flying over railway lines, all sorts of things like that, which all adds to the realism. You can see the windsock is blowing a bit there, so there's a bit of wind around today, a bit of a crosswind force taking off by the look of it. As I say, it's a pretty dull day in the UK today. It doesn't look like it's actually raining at Gatwick at the moment, but where I am in Lincolnshire it's light drizzle and quite miserable day really. At the end of May it's not great. Excuse me. Weather should be improving fairly soon as we start going into summer. So you can see a car in front of us there on the roads. I think I mentioned in another video, for some reason on some roads traffic seems to drive on the right, and then on motorways it seems to be on the left. So there's 1 or 2 issues with the road traffic, but again a fairly minor
Victor,
thing.
India, India, Tango. Contact tower on 124.22.
Okay, so we contact
tower
tower.
on 124.22. Victor, India, India, Tango.
So I'm just dialing in the new frequency for tower. 124.22, there we go.
Tower, Victor, India, India, Tango.
Okay, just get ready to go on.
Victor,
There we
India,
go.
India, Tango, runway 8 right, clear for takeoff.
Okay, so we're cleared
Runway
to take
8
off.
right, cleared for takeoff. Victor, India, India, Tango.
So I'm just going to move us gently out onto the runway. Line up around the centre line. There we go. Increase the throttles, take the brakes off, and away we go. We should be airborne very shortly. We're coming up on rotate speed, so we'll be I'll be actually taking off very shortly. Pull the stick back, the yoke, and there we go, we're away. We'll put the autopilot on, click the LOC button, which will make it follow the flight
Victor,
plan.
India, India, Tango, contact center on 135.95.
Okay, so we now need to contact centre.
Contact center on 135.95. Victor, India, India, Tango. Center,
Okay.
Victor, India, India, Tango.
Just turn the landing and taxi
Victor,
lights
India,
off.
India, Tango, Echo, Golf, Kilo, Kilo, altimeter 3006.
Okay, 3006 for the altimeter.
Echo, Golf, Kilo, Kilo, altimeter 3006. Victor, India, India, Tango.
Okay, so we're currently on 3023. So I need to use this to adjust that down to 3006. Okay, that's fine. Okay, what we're now going to do is increase our speed. Up to about 350. Engage the auto throttle. Keep us at around about 350. Okay, that should do us. And then I'll increase the vertical speed so we climb a bit faster to get to 15,000, the assigned altitude. I'd be interested to hear what you guys think of the plane, whether you prefer 787 from the last video or the 777, or if you have any preferences for anything else we can try. I'm just going to put the undercarriage up now. So to find this aircraft in X-Plane, what you do is you would go aircraft, open aircraft, and then if you look under extra aircraft and then aircraft from previous versions, heavy metal, then you'll find it there. So this is free with X-Plane when you buy it, it's just under extra aircraft rather than under normal heavy metal where you would find all the other big jets. So it looks like we're climbing through the cloud, so probably not going to have much visibility today, I wouldn't think. Won't be able to see much of X-Plane scenery today until we descend into Manchester, I suspect, so probably going to be pretty grey. Once we've levelled out at 15,000, we'll turn the seatbelt sign off and let the passengers stretch their legs a bit. We're just about at the Lambourne Vore. We're not far away, 13 nautical miles. So we will very shortly be reaching the Lambourne Vore, making a turn to the left. Just have a look outside at our plane. There you go, that's us. They're quite a nice looking plane, the 777s. This one does not, I don't think, have a 3D cockpit. No, it doesn't. So if you just get a view straight out the front, you know there's no 3D cockpit, so you have to go with forwards with panel, which is fine. So we're now 1 minute away, 7 miles from the Lambourne Vore. We should fairly soon start that turn, which will take us up towards Heidi. We're 5 miles now, so we're nearly there. So a fairly short flight to Manchester, shouldn't take us too long. You may just have seen the FMS changed from showing the Lambourne now to showing Heidi, so it's picked up the next waypoint and we're now turning onto that heading. And it's 6 minutes away, so not far. Should be able to see on the map the red line there. What I'll do is adjust the range so we can see the course a bit better. There you go, that's perfect. You can see everything on there now. So that red line is the course that we're following. You can see the red blocks to the right of the auto panel settings there, all the warnings, so if there were any issues we would get warnings there. You can use these buttons to view fuel, for example. That's your ailerons, rudder and elevator settings. Ram air turbine on, and that's failures, so if there was a failure they would be highlighted to show you what has a problem, but everything's okay and I've got equipment failures turned off at the moment, so we're not going to get that. So that's our basic engines display, and that's our fuel. So fuel is probably one that's worth looking at, I guess, but generally we had more than enough fuel for this flight, so we don't have to worry about that. So I'll generally keep it on the engine so I can see, you know, everything is functioning okay with the engines. So we are now 4 minutes from Heidi. Now down to 3, so about 27 miles. Heidi not actually showing on our map display as yet, but I would imagine we'll do fairly soon. Not sure what range we've got it set on now. About 10 miles by the look of it, so we probably won't see it on the map until it's 10 miles away. It should be fairly soon. So it looks like the cloud's clearing a bit, so maybe it's just my area of the country that's very grey and drizzly, because it actually looks a bit better as we're heading north. We have got real weather being downloaded from the internet, so it should be true to how things actually are. we're ticking along quite nicely. Should be a fairly straightforward flight to Manchester. It's quite a simple route. I think it'll be runway 5 at Manchester we'll be landing on when we get there, but we'll get that information from ATC as we get closer. As I said, on the ground it's a bit of a shame that those yellow lines telling you where to taxi go straight through objects and things, but the main point of the simulator obviously is to fly aeroplanes, so really I suppose that's a fairly minor consideration. The air traffic control system in X-Plane is not the best, but there are improvements being made to it, but it can be a bit strange at times. Particularly about repeating instructions before you've had any chance to actually comply with them, which is a bit annoying sometimes, but there you go. So I wonder if this cloud is going to clear completely as we head north. It does look like it's getting a bit better. Just turning on my Android tablet. So I've got the moving map display on
India,
there.
India,
so
Tango, Echo,
we are.
Golf, Whiskey, altimeter 3006.
Okay, 3006 again.
Echo, Golf, Whiskey, altimeter 3006. Victor, India, Tango.
Echo, Golf, Whiskey, that's Luton Airport, London Luton. So that gives a fair indication of where we are. So we've come out of North London. Let's just have a look at our local map, and you should be able to see, I'll scroll down a bit, you'll see our flight path. So there we are, we came out of Gatwick, headed sort of northeast up to Lambourne, then we've turned, excuse me, and headed out over London Luton, now coming up to Cranfield. So that's basically where we are now, sort of Bedfordshire type area. You can see Cambridge off to the right there, and Northampton straight in front of us. So we're sort of Bedfordshire going into Northamptonshire, so that's sort of area we are, if you know the UK. You can have the HUD on, the heads-up display. Personally, I usually don't. I don't really find it to be that helpful, to be frankly honest, but you can have that if you wish. As I say, I normally have it off. Better visibility, you can see the scenery a bit better. And of course you've got all your instruments here to show you exactly what's what. So you've got your clock down the bottom there. We are tracking real date and time as well as real weather. You've got your speed indicator there, altitude, obviously your map. Also got our artificial horizon there, compass at the bottom showing our heading, which is currently 314. We're doing 350, you can see the speed on the left, level at 15,000 you can see on the right. Bearing that in mind, I forgot to tell the passengers they can take their seatbelts off, so I'll do that.
The captain has turned on the seatbelt sign. You may now take off your seatbelt.
There you go, so there's a little crew announcement there saying that we've turned off the seatbelt sign. And now you can see the Welling fix is on the map, so we're fast approaching that. And there you go, that'll do roughly there. So you can see the Welling fix, and there's a slight right turn as we reach it to head towards Timpo. So if you keep your eye on the flight management system just below the engine gauges, you should see the display change from Welling to Timpo. Welling is currently 4 miles away. Just before we actually reach it, we should begin that turn, and you should see that display change. Currently on plan segment 03, it will change to 04 and Timpo very shortly, I would think. There go, there's the change. So it's changed to tempo, and there's the turn being made. So the plane is nicely following the flight plan. We're doing exactly what we told air traffic control we were going to do.
Tango, descend and maintain 1,000.
Okay, so down to
1,000. 1,000. Victor, India, Tango.
So I'll just dial that in on my panel. Set the vertical speed to about minus 1500, should be fine. You can see now the altitude is starting to decrease, and if you can see just to the right of the actual altitude numbers, you can see the gauge where the needle has gone pointing downwards, pointing down to about 7 o'clock, I suppose. That's the vertical speed indicator, so you can see the vertical speed is negative and we're losing height, which the altitude confirms, of course. If we're flying level, it'll be pointing at 9 o'clock, and if we're gaining height, so our vertical speed is positive, then it'll go 10, 11 o'clock, something like that. So that's what that needle does. I did put the auto brakes on earlier on, don't really need them at Manchester, but I put them on anyway, just in case. Can't really do any harm. So, flight yoke, I've got buttons set up for contacting air traffic control, reversing the engine so that when we land we can just flick a button to put the engines into reverse, slow us down on the runway. Look up, look down, so that enables us to move up and down in the aircraft. Left and right doesn't actually do anything whilst in this view because it's not a 3D cockpit, but if I go to circle view, then I can use left and right to spin the view round. You can see a bit of scenery below us, so broken cloud as we're going north, so hopefully things will get better.
India, Tango, descend and maintain 7,000.
Okay, so we've now got to go down to 7,000. So I'll just dial that change into the panel. Okay, if I just go back to our internal view, you can see that I've now set the altitude to 7,000. I'm going to increase the rate of descent a bit because it's taking a while to get down there, so let's just do that. As we are descending this far, I suppose passengers really ought to have their seatbelts back on, so hardly worth taking them off on this flight, to be honest. It's a very short flight. But we do get the crew announcement telling them to put their seatbelts back on, which is pretty cool, so we might as well do it. Okay, so we are virtually at the tempo fix. You can see it on the map, almost right on the nose of the aeroplane now. Doesn't look like there's any turn to make here. But it's just changed to TNT4, plan segment 5. 30 odd miles away, and that's our last waypoint before Manchester, so we're getting pretty close to our destination now. So I'm actually going to begin reducing the speed a bit. It's down to 300 initially. Don't want to be going too slow, but at the same time want to get the speed down a bit so that we're preparing for descent into Manchester and landing at about 160. Okay, everything looks fine, just looking around checking that all is well and everything looks perfect. We're coming down into the cloud a bit more now.
Victor, India, Tango, descend and maintain 3,000.
Down to 3,000. Victor, India, Tango.
Going right down to 3,000 now.
Victor, India, Tango, Echo, Golf, November, X-ray, altimeter 3008.
Okay, so 3008, that's East Midlands Airport.
Echo, Golf, November, X-ray. Altimeter 3008 Victor, India, India, Tango.
Okay, so Echo Golf November X-ray is East Midlands Airport, so we're roughly around that sort of area now. And heading for the Trent Roar around Nottingham. River Trent runs through Nottinghamshire, so that's roughly where we are now. And we will not be too long before we will be heading for the Manchester Airport. Not sure if it's on the local map as yet. Let's have a look. If it is, I can get the tower frequency and the ILS frequency while I'm here. So let's just have a look. We'll centre on the aircraft. Okay, that's East Midlands there. There's the Trent Roar. Walden. Manchester. Here we go. Look, it is on the map, so that's good. So let's just zoom in a bit. Maybe a bit more. Maybe that zoomed in too far. Let's just try going back a bit. That's all I wanted. So tower is 118.62, so I'll put that in the standby frequency on my radio panel now. Okay, and the ILS frequency is 109.5. So I'll put that in my nav1 frequency, and that will be ready for us to change our source to nav1, and then when we use the localizer for that, it will pick up the ILS and take us down to the runway at Manchester, hopefully, all being well. Fairly straightforward flight, so pretty short one, but bit of an introduction to the 777 really. So we're now coming down through the clouds, so we're going to probably lose all visibility in a second or two as we go through this cloud. Right, it's looking better, it's breaking up for us, so I think we'll be okay. We've got a nice little hole in the cloud to go through. How about that? Or maybe not. I think the cloud effects in X-Plane are very good, and I've got them set quite low. I don't look like we're quite going below the cloud yet, so the cloud ceiling is quite low. We're at 3,000 feet and we're still not below the clouds, so it is quite a dull day. Just going to keep reducing our speed down as we get closer
Victor,
to
India,
Manchester.
India, Tango. Climb and maintain 15,000.
Okay, he's now told us to go back up to 15,000.
Up to 15,000. Victor, India, India, Tango.
So I'm not quite sure what all that was about, but maybe some restrictions on the chart. I can't actually see any on my charts, but there might be something
Victor,
there.
India, India, Tango. Climb and maintain 15,000.
Here he goes, repeating his instructions when I haven't had time to even dial it in yet, but I'm getting there. Okay, 15,000.
Up to 15,000. Victor, India, India, Tango.
Stick the vertical speed up to about 2,000. We've got our airspeed at 275 now, so we've reduced our airspeed a bit, but still got plenty to be able to make that climb. And we're very nearly at the TNT ball now, at which point we will be heading for Manchester International.
Victor, India, India, Tango. Fly heading 310. Vectors for the visual. Runway 5 left. Climb and maintain 5,000.
Heading
Okay.
310. Vectors for the visual. Runway 5 left. Up to 5,000. Victor. India. India. Tango.
Okay, so our altitude, instead of going up to 15,000, we're actually going up only to 5,000. So I'm just dialing that in and hopefully get there. We've actually gone past it, but hopefully that will settle and descend back to that. Now I think he said fly heading 210, didn't he? I'll do that with the mouse. I'm pretty sure he said 210. I'm sure they can tell us if I'm wrong. Okay, runway 5 left, they said. I'm expecting runway 5, so that's absolutely fine. And we're 20 odd miles, 28 miles by the look of it, out of Manchester at the moment. So what I'm going to do now is change our source over to nav 1, so we're ready to pick up the ILS when it comes to it. Heading on 210 makes sense because we'll probably head that way a bit, then probably something like 270 to head to the west to come round the bottom, if you like, of the Manchester airport to line up on runway 5. We don't seem to be settling to 5,000 altitude very well, so I'm just going to tell it to descend a bit. Going down now, hopefully that will settle at 5,000 feet. Yeah, looks like it, looks fine.
Victor, India, India, Tango. You are off course.
Ah, it was 310 heading, he said. Oops.
You are off course.
Victor. India.
Never mind.
India. Tango.
Victor, India, India,
Yeah, I know,
Tango.
I know.
You are off course.
So you're going to keep telling us we're off course until we're back on course, really. That's my
Victor,
fault.
India, India, Tango. You are off course. You are off course.
Apologies for
Victor.
that.
India. India. Tango.
I got the 10 right, it was just a 2 and 3 that was a bit wrong. Surprised he didn't tell us a bit earlier to turn back to the heading he wanted us on, rather than just letting us head off on a strange heading and then just tell us we're off course. He isn't really telling us where to go to get back on course, but there you go. So on the map you can see that red line is the course which will go directly between the Trent Roar and Manchester.
Victor, India, India, Tango. You are off course. You are off course.
Victor. India. India. Tango.
You can see that mauve line we're now settling onto. That is the course that we've
Victor,
actually got
India,
dialed in.
India, Tango. You are off course. You are off course.
Victor. India. India. Tango.
I'm off course. Tell me where you want me to go.
Victor, India, India, Tango. You are off course. You are off course.
Victor. India. India. Tango.
Let's try heading a bit more.
Victor, India, India, Tango. You are off course.
There you go. That should take us towards that previous course, and we'll see if that will stop him constantly telling us
You
we're
are
off
off
course.
course.
Victor. India. India. Tango.
It's quite an annoying feature of
Victor,
X-Plane that
India,
keeps doing
India,
this.
Tango. You are off course. You are off course.
Victor. India. India. Tango.
Maybe he's happy with that course. I think in reality, air traffic control would tell you what course they want you to fly rather than just saying you're off course. But there you go. As I say, air traffic control in X-Plane is not perfect, not by a long way. Going to put the undercarriage down now. Excuse me. There you go, you can see the undercarriage coming down, hopefully. So we're getting prepared for our approach. You can definitely see the undercarriage is down now. That all looks fine. We've got this cloud to put up with, unfortunately, which is making it impossible to pretty much see anything, really, at the moment. hopefully we'll get below it shortly and start to get a bit more visibility on where we're going and what we're doing. I don't think we'll have any problem seeing the airfields. That'll be the least of our problems. I'd imagine that shouldn't be too much of a problem.
Victor, India, India, Tango. Y heading 230. Descend and maintain 2000.
Okay, let's get the heading right this time.
Down to 2000. Victor, India, India, Tango.
So let's make sure we're flying the right heading. So 230. Okay, and we're going to go down to 2000. This should hopefully get us below that cloud.
Victor, India, India, Tango. Descend and maintain 2000.
There he is reminding us again. Well, we're just trying to set it.
Down to 2000. Victor, India, India, Tango.
Why it feels a need to remind you quite that quickly, I don't know, because there's no way you could possibly have done it that quickly. Okay, I'm going to reduce our speed down a bit further. It's 225.
Victor, India, India,
There's some
Tango.
flaps
Descend and
on as
maintain
well.
2000.
Yeah, we know we're doing that. So he keeps
Down
reminding
to
you that
2000.
we're doing
Victor,
it.
India, India,
we should
Tango.
be. Our vertical speed isn't enabled. Sorry, it was my fault again. I hadn't enabled the vertical speed, so we weren't actually descending. We are now, so let's descend a bit quicker. So ATC, my apologies. You were right to remind me. It was my fault. I hadn't enabled the vertical speed button. In any case, we're now descending quite nicely. Hopefully get below this cloud in a second. Yeah, we'll see what we're doing. Yeah, this looks like cloud ceilings at around about 3.5, something like that by the look of it. Could obviously tune to 80s at Manchester, and they'll give you all that information. Check out on the internet what the weather conditions are at any given airport. No TAMs and the such like. But for now, we will hopefully get through this cloud. Pretty much in the thick of it now. I was hoping at 2000 we'd have pretty clear visibility, but it doesn't look like it at the moment. Oh, yes, no, that's okay. Round about 2000 and we've just got below the clouds. So the cloud ceiling is at around about 2000, so that's quite low. Not a pleasant day in the UK, I'm afraid. So we're only 11 miles out from the airport, so we should be...
Victor, India, India, Tango. Y heading 320.
Heading 320. Victor, India, India, Tango.
Our flaps don't seem to have gone quite the way I asked them to, so I'm going to have a fiddle with that. That's looking better. If you look below where the altitude reading is, you can see a bar increasing saying flaps. That's looking better, we're getting there now. That should just about do it, hopefully. Okay, so that's a bit better. We can see a bit more now. So we're coming over a town now. You can see trees, houses, roads and so on. I'll just check my moving map. I'll be able to tell you where that is.
Victor, India, India, Tango, Echo, Golf, Charlie, Charlie. Altimeter 3011.
I think it reads Wansford.
Victor,
Somewhere
India,
like that,
India,
yeah.
Tango. Fly heading 020.
Yeah.
Heading 020. Victor, India, India, Tango.
Okay, so we'll go around to 020 and 3011 on the altimeter, he said. There we go. So that's set. So the runway is at 050, so it should be just off to our right. Let's take the speed down again, this time to 180. In preparation for landing.
Victor, India, India, Tango. Fly heading 050. Report the field in sight.
Heading
There
050. We'll call the field. Victor, India, India, Tango.
Okay, so out here somewhere we should see the runway fairly soon. There you go. So, report the field in sight.
Center, Victor, India, India, Tango.
You should hand us off to tower.
Victor, India, India, Tango. Contact tower on 118.62.
Contact tower on 118.62. Victor, India, India, Tango.
So you recall I'd already dialed that frequency in,
Tower,
so
Victor, India, India, Tango.
that's done. And what we're now going to do with a bit of luck is line up on that runway. And we should also hit the glide slope at some point. The GS button I've clicked, it's gone orange and it should go green once we're actually on the glide slope. Just to ensure that does happen. I don't think we're too low already to... Oh no, I think it's happened actually. I think that's it. It's just locked onto the glide slope, so that's fine. So, into Manchester, here we come. So coming over a river. I'm not sure what river that is, anybody know? Is it Trent? Does the Trent go that far? I'm not sure where the Trent goes to be honest. I know it's around Nottingham, but other than that, Manchester Ship Canal you've got somewhere of course, but I don't think that's the Ship Canal. Anyway, we're coming in over some trees and there's a bit of a road through there. I was hoping we might see some road traffic or maybe a train on the railway lines or something.
Victor,
but not
India,
seeing a lot.
India, Tango. Runway 5 left. Clear to land.
Runway 5 left. Cleared to land. Victor, India, India, Tango.
So you can see the Varsi lights in front of us to the right of the runway. 2 red and 2 white indicates we are perfectly on the glide slope, so that's good news. If they're all red, you're too high, if I remember rightly, and if they're all white, you're too low. I think that's right. But anyway, 2 red and 2 white means on the glide slope, and that's very much how we want it to be. So, should be a straightforward approach, hopefully.
400.
Bit of a crosswind again by the look of things.
300. 200. 200. 100, 50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
So there we are, on the ground at Manchester. Speed's dropping.
Victor, India, India, Tango.
Okay, so they've just given us the line to follow.
Victor, India, India, Tango.
So a little bit of frost. Brakes aren't on, so that's better, a little bit more frost it needed. Okay, so I think I actually have got landing lights back on. Very naughty. Okay, that's fine. Should have done my pre-landing checklist there. I didn't, but not to worry. Okay, so we're off the runway now. That's the main thing. Get off the runway, vacate that, ready for the next flight that's coming in, and we can head around here and let's see where they're sending us to.
Victor, India, India, Tango. Contact ground on 121.7.
Okay, we've now got to contact the ground controller.
Contact ground on 121.7. Victor, India, India, Tango.
There we go,
Ground,
121.7.
Victor, India, India, Tango.
So we should be okay now to just follow this yellow line. Hopefully off to a gate over here somewhere, are we? It looks like it's going up and to the end of this building here, so I think we've got that gate on the end there by the look of it. Is it in fact going past there? No, I think it stops here, doesn't it? It looks like it, yeah. We'll go in here, this will do. Quite nicely. Gate 47 at Manchester. Okay, that will do us. So, we can now turn off the avionics, all our lights. Turn off the APU generator, the generators and the batteries, and we're cold and dark at Manchester. I'll just turn the engines to off as well. There we are, you can hear those dying. And that's us. So, hope you enjoyed that flight. See you next time. Bye guys.